Okay, so now you've made it this far, you're ready for the chart. When we're working with sentence structure, basically you want to say to yourself, there's 6 patterns that I can work with to fix any sentence, okay? So make sure that you are turned to page 7 in your advanced review because this is what I want to go over with you. Okay, are you there? All right. Look up there at the top of the page. What I have there is I have an I, comma, I. What that means is that there's a group of words that can be its own sentence, separated with just a comma from another group of words that can be its own sentence. And in this case, it's wrong. It's called a comma splice, okay? The other option is what's called a fused sentence, where it's 2 independent clauses with nothing in between. And guess what? That's wrong too. So what I want you to remember is you draw the line. And if this can be its own sentence and this can be its own sentence, it's wrong. Okay? Now, there are 6 different ways to fix it. Let's go over the first way. Okay, so there on the top, I guess, left box of your chart, you can make 2 separate sentences. So for example, instead of, I like this class, comma, it's very interesting, you'll put a period where the comma is. Now you're right, okay? Another example would be, my professor is intelligent, period. I've learned a lot from her, okay? Now, the other option is to use a semicolon. I like this class, semicolon. It is very interesting. And again, it is a independent clause and an independent clause separated with just a semicolon, okay? All right, the other option for 2 independent clauses is to use a comma and an and. Okay, so here's what I mean by CC. Down at the bottom of your chart, it says coordinating conjunctions. That's what a CC is. So I, comma, CCI means you're using a coordinating conjunction, okay? The biggies, and, but, or, okay? All right, those are they. Now, that's a little bit choppy. Okay, so in the English language, what we're going to work with is we're going to work with the dependent clauses, okay? So working with dependent clauses makes English just a little bit more interesting, okay, rather than chop, 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 chop. So what you do right here is, just like it says on the top right-hand side of your chart, look at it real fast. I like this class because it's very interesting. So by adding that dependent marker word right here in the middle of the sentence, instead of the comma, you fixed it. Okay, and you made the sentence more interesting. Okay, now, what if you want to take, oh, I forgot to mention, do you see how I drew that circle right there? Okay, many times there will not be a comma here, okay? The dependent word is all you need, all right? Sometimes you do. So I'm not going to say it all the time, but definitely for the most part, you will not need a comma there. Okay? All right, now we're ready to move on. Now let's say you want to take this dependent clause and you want to move it to the beginning. Okay? So go down on your chart on page 7. Because it's very interesting, I like this class. Right here, by using that dependent marker word here at the beginning of the sentence, after that group of words, always put that comma. There's always a comma if a sentence begins with the dependent marker word. Okay? We'll see this one a lot. Okay, now for the last example. In this pattern of sentence, I call it the SDCV pattern. Okay? So S is going to stand for subject. And so that's going to be the class. Okay? Then the dependent clause comes in between the 2 commas, which is very interesting. Okay? And it has the words which. It could also have the word who. All right? And it's surrounded by commas. And then last of all, you're going to have have your verb. In this sentence, it's is. And then whatever the rest of the sentence is going to be. So this class, which is very interesting, is enjoyable. Okay? And so those are the basic 6 patterns that we work with in sentence corrections and in construction shifts. And we'll be working some more on the construction shifts coming up in a few videos.